very good evening and a warm welcome to our internet commentary coverage of Colombia against France. An international friendly between two sides who have qualified for the World Cup. We've got some superstars on show today, one of whom was once touted as possibly being the best player in the world and celebrates his 35th birthday today. Well, Colombia, I watched them the other night. They lost 2-1 at home to Croatia despite taking the lead after just 2 minutes. They were largely very disappointing. They'll be looking for an improvement on that, but they have just made the two changes tonight, one of them being the goalkeeper Alvaro Montero, who comes in goal. And there's also a start for Juan Cabal in the defence. The defender coming in for only his third cap, plays for Juventus in Italy and takes the place of Lahumi in midfield, who drops down to the bench. Otherwise, it's as you were. Midfield of Jefferson Lerma and Richard Rios of Benfica. James Rodriguez still going strong at the ripe old age of 34. And Luis Suarez leading the line, not the Luis Suarez, but it's a name you've probably heard of if you know your football. He's been banging in the goals for Sporting in the Portuguese League and in the Champions League this season. He will, of course, be playing Arsenal in the quarter-finals in just a few weeks' time. Been around a long time, James Rodriguez. So too is the French manager. Who is, of course, Didier Deschamps. By the time the World Cup is over, he'd have completed a full 14 years as head coach. He's been touted with the prospect of moving on. Maybe, just maybe, this is his last major tournament. Well, I saw a post on social media earlier which was 5 screen grabs of 5 starting 11s of the current French players available to Deschamps, and you can build 5 smashing teams, let me tell you. The players he's got at his disposal, frightening. Now, he's not gone super top heavy tonight. He has left a few of his big guns resting on the bench. For example, we've got on the bench Ibrahima Konate, Mike Mannion dropping to the bench, Teo Hernandez, Hugo Ekitike and Camavinga, Tchouameni, and of course probably two of the best players in the world in Kylian Mbappe and Ousmane Dembele. Add to that list, by the way, another player who's having an excellent season for Bayern Munich, Michael Olise. So plenty of changes for France, just the 2 for Colombia. Teams are out, and time for me to run through the 2 lineups ahead of kick-off in the sunshine. It's always lovely to have sunshine. It's a mid-afternoon game this here, wherever you're listening in the world, be it afternoon or evening. The sun is shining brightly, and it's just as well because this is a stadium that has precious little covered accommodation. Well, Colombia first of all then, let's run through their lineup, shall we, and their substitutes in great detail. Alvaro Montero comes in goal. Now, I mentioned earlier Montero, he makes his 11th appearance for his country, the 30-year-old. Still plays his football in South America, very tall goalkeeper, plays for Vélez Sarsfield. He's got just the 1 change in front of him. He's been one of the 2 changes made by Colombia today. Juan Cabal comes in and partners Davinson Sanchez in the heart of defence. Daniel Munoz of Crystal Palace and Johan Mojica of Mallorca are the 2 fullbacks. And then much rides on the performance of Jefferson Lerma and Richard Rios. Couldn't really get to grips with Croatia the other night, and they only brought Modric on for the last 15 minutes. Juan Arias and Luis Diaz, 2 wide men. Arias of Palmeiras in Brazil, who have had a cracking start to the season in the new Serie A campaign. And of course, Luis Diaz, we know all about, Bayern Munich top player. James Rodriguez, well, he's seen better days. I think he'd be the first to admit that, as he collects today, the 34-year-old, his 124th cap for his country. 31 goals in that time, not a bad return. He captains the side. Luis Suarez in attack in front of him has 4 in 9, the Sporting striker, who has been bagging the goals for Sporting this season. Now on the bench, we've got David Ospina, goalkeeper. Juan Luhumi, who drops down to the bench, who plays for Bologna in Italy. Santiago Arias is on the bench. Kevin Castano is a defensive midfielder who plays in Argentina for River Plate. George Carrasco, John Cordoba, Camilo Vargas, Gustavo Puerto, Yerson Mosquera, Johan Carbonero, Rafa Bora, Juan Quintero, Jaminto Campes, David Macedo of Nantes, and Andres Gomez, a winger who plays in Brazil for Vasco da Gama. There you go, that was a long list, wasn't it? The Argentine Nestor Lorenzo is the head coach. Not quite caught up yet with the 14 years near on service from his opposite number, Didier Deschamps, but Nestor Lorenzo has almost racked up 4 years, which is virtually unheard of in South American football, be it for a country or for a club. Well, what about France? They've made several changes from the side, which played just the other night against Brazil and beat them by 2-1 here in America. They're over here acclimatising themselves to what they hope will be familiar surrounds for the entirety of the World Cup tournament this summer. They go with Brice Samba in goal today. And the two central defenders, well, one of them is Lucas Hernandez, who usually plays as a left-back but can play in the centre of defence. And he's alongside Maxime Lecroix of Crystal Palace. Pierre Kalulu comes in of Juventus as the right-back. Luca Digne of Aston Villa is the left-back. And the two midfielders, two defence-minded midfielders, Warren Zaire-Emery and the French captain, N'Golo Kante, who turns 35 today, so happy birthday to him. Well, it's quite a mouth-watering line-up in front of him, and that's without the likes of Mbappe and Elise and Dembele. And yet still, and Ekitike as well, by the way, they can still roll out Akliouche, Cherki and Doué today, and Marcus Thuram in front of them. The firepower at their disposal is, quite frankly, frightening. Spain, Portugal, France, England, I really can't see beyond those 4 in the summer. I'll be interested to know what your thoughts are, but do you think that the European sides are that much stronger? Croatia kind of demonstrated that the other night, coming from behind to beat the Colombians. It was a disappointing performance. It was flat for the Colombians. And much has been said about that performance. They will be looking for a response here today. Well, they're French, that is, the French side on the bench. Malo Gusto. Deo Upamecano, by the way, missing out today with a slight strain. The Bayern Munich man has ended up going back to his club in Germany. Camavinga, Dembele, Tchouameni, Mbappe, Elise, Colomouani, Rabiot, Konate, it's Ibrahima Konate, Mike Maignan, the goalkeeper, Theo Hernandez, Hugo Ekitike, and another goalkeeper in the PSG goalkeeper, Lucas Chevalier, though he's not getting a game at the moment at the Parc des Princes, and that might well be costly. If he wants to go to the World Cup, he needs to break into that PSG side, and quickly. Today's referee is from Argentina. It's Fernando Rapalini, assisted by Juan Pablo Belata and Diogo Bonfa. Fourth official for Kundo Tello. And VAR, Gabriel Chade assisting Mauro Vigliano. We are ready to get underway. In fact, that was timed perfectly to the second by me, because just as I gave you the match officials, so Colombia kick-off in their bright yellow shirts, their blue shorts and their red socks. It doesn't quite look right, those mixture of colours, but they've always worn them and it is synonymous. I think Ecuador wear very similar, don't they? France, by the way, are in, just to make it a little bit confusing, they're in blue shirts, white shorts, but they too have red socks on. Slightly darker shade of red, but if I'm totally honest with you, when you're looking at the ball, it's handy to have, well, you obviously need different colour shirts. They're happy having the same coloured shorts, most referees. Don't often see the same coloured socks, and they're bright red, both teams. I'm very surprised that that one has been passed. It wouldn't have cost a lot to have given France a pair of white socks or a pair of blue socks just to overcome that situation. If VAR was to see a coming together of 2 feet, they're both going to be wearing red socks and it could be a little different. Here come Colombia to the byline, gets Luis Diaz, then he overhit it and went behind for a corner. 1 minute and 20 gone, and on a blustery day here in Washington DC, it is goalless as Lacroix takes the goal kick short to goalkeeper Brice Samba of Rennes, who are pushing for a place in Europe in French Ligue 1 this season. Lucas Hernandez. So France come forward. Breaking news, which has absolutely nothing to do with these two sides. Former Spurs and England striker Jermaine Defoe has been named as the manager of English fifth-tier side Woking. So he's got his first managerial job. Good luck to him. He was a fine striker. Well, we've got some fine strikers on show here today. Luis Suarez, Marcus Thuram. We might well see Kylian Mbappe later. No Bradley Barcola for France either. He's carrying a slight knock and isn't amongst the squad for these two friendlies. He's been sent home. It's Maxime Lacroix to Lucas Hernandez. I think he's a really good player, Maxime Lacroix. It'd be interesting to see if he is utilised by Deschamps. It's out wide to Cherki. Cherki trying to weave his magic, and the drill shot from the edge of the penalty area from Warren Zaire-Emery did take a slight deflection and goes behind for a corner. Zaire-Emery 12 months ago couldn't get much more than a few minutes at the end of a game for Paris Saint-Germain. This season he's the first name on their score in their team sheet. He's one of the first names on France's team sheet, and he has very quickly come to the fore as a very, very good all-round midfield player. He's in good company today as well, isn't he? With N'Golo Kante alongside him on his birthday. In comes the corner, eludes everyone, comes back out to the far side of the penalty area, reversed back by Hernandez, who gets it off of Luca Digne, knocks it all the way back to N'Golo Kante, who still just plays that unbelievably easy game, doesn't it? Just puts his foot on it and does the easy thing, breaks things up. Here he is now, the captain, with the ball at his feet. Diminutive but stocky and super sweet with the ball at his feet. And the ball into the feet of Aklios. He was rather slow on the uptake. It's been won back by Jefferson Lerma. Then James Rodriguez drops in deep to play it back to Davinson Sanchez. It's Mojica, who's drifted over to the right-hand side. Two fullbacks almost standing on one another's toes at the moment for Colombia. 4 minutes gone. Colombia 0, France 0. The other fullback being Daniel Muniz, of course, of Crystal Palace, against his old teammate, or his current teammate, Maxime Lacroix today. Muniz against Maxime Lacroix. Here come France again, inside from the near side from Lacroix, who stayed up from the corner, so they're going to be a little bit exposed from the back here as Juan Arias gets forward. Juan Arias pulls it back to the edge of the box. It's held up well, and James Rodriguez teed up by Luis Suarez, but can't get the shot away, and then the shot is pounced upon by Richard Rios, and it puts it wide of the target. No real problems in the end for Brice Samba. Rios with a thumping shot towards goal, just wide. Wasn't a bad hit actually through a crowd. It was always pulling wide. wasn't far wide. 5 gone, Colombia 0, France 0. It's a long chip forward by Kalulu. Let's have it back again momentarily with Nkante. Couldn't quite control it, came off his shins, but they still have possession here with Lucas Hernandez into the midfield, shifted wide by Ryan Shirky. Here's Shirky again, drifting forward. Looks like Desiree Doué is back on this left-hand side again, and Aklios is in the middle. The cross was attempted by Marcus Thuram there, but didn't really make a very good delivery of it. It's been cleared away by Colombia and Sanchez, and away for throwing to the French, who've dominated the early play. 6 minutes gone, 0-0. It's a chance for the French side to, as individuals, nail down a place in the World Cup squad, which is just about to be named in their head, certainly, of Didier Deschamps. No more matches. Next time they play, they will be playing as a World Cup squad. So there's a few players out there for France today in blue, in particular, who are playing for a place on the plane. Colombia have gone pretty strong again, only 2 changes, and you would feel that pretty much most of this 11 is where they are at. We looked at Wales the other night. I know they crashed out against Bosnia and Herzegovina. They know they're 11. When they started bringing subs on that play their football in the Championship, you could tell they just weren't the same level. And it's a little bit like that for countries like Colombia. You pretty much know you're 11, but there's not too much great strength and depth. So we're over France. They could probably name 2 squads that would go deep in the World Cup. That's how much firepower the likes of Spain, France and England have got. Seven and a half minutes gone. On up. Warm, sunny afternoon in Washington. Throw in level with the edge of the penalty area, taken by Munoz on the right hand side for Colombia. Gets to the byline here, does Richard Rios. Can he get the cross in? No, he can't. Strong interception from Lucas Hernandez, who is a no-nonsense defender, whether he's filling in as the central defender or as the left back. Lucadinha is the left back today. He's got the ball tucked underneath his arm, but he's going to have to wait for a moment because there is an injury to Desiree Doué inside his own penalty area. Concerned look on the face of Didier Deschamps. It is t-shirt weather, but he's out there with his blazer on. Is Deschamps. Player, wasn't he, Deschamps? Well, France have just needlessly worked their way from a throw-in to giving away a corner without so much as a touch of the ball from Colombia. Quite what on earth was done there. Suarez with good pressing, and Hernandez has put it straight behind for a corner. 8.5 minutes gone, Colombia 0, France 0. First corner of the match, and it's gone to the Colombians. You feel like they're the home side. They're well supported here. Sprinkling of French fans as well, 1 or 2, I would imagine, neutrals, so to speak. They're not actually French, just here to admire the World Cup finalists, twice winners. Finalists last time lost on penalties, of course, to Argentina. An epic final in Qatar 3.5 years. It was 3 years ago, just over 3 years ago. Amazing how quickly the World Cup has come around again. I can't believe it's 3 years ago. Time flies when you're enjoying yourself. Here's Desiree Doué, recovered from that injury he picked up a couple of minutes ago. He's into the penalty area and he's still going, and that was a good interception from Davinson Sanchez, formerly of Tottenham Hotspur. Davinson Sanchez now plays his football for Turkish side Galatasaray, so he's getting a regular run in the Champions League. They have just crashed out to Liverpool at Anfield. Won the first leg, they couldn't contain them in the second. Colombia looking to get forward with Mojica in the left back position, just up towards the halfway line, being watched carefully by Aklios. Sanchez again, Davinson Sanchez into the right back position with Daniel Munoz. A terrific couple of years since arriving at Selhurst Park in South London. It's going to be a throw into France, which will be taken by Luca Digne. Played rather simply out of touch by Richard Rios when he could have put a foot on it and just kept possession. Handed it straight back to France, which is something Colombia want to try and avoid doing if at all possible. Here's Digne, ball at his feet, down the line. Nice touch from Doué. Digne. Cross comes in, headed away by Juan Cabal. Forward again by Hernandez, and now maybe a chance for a breakaway. Luis Diaz is wide on the left-hand side. He's being fed by Suarez. Diaz gets the ball out wide. That's a really poor cross by Mojica. It's got to be better than that. They're not going to get too many chances. And Johan Mojica streaming down the left flank, the 33-year-old veteran, making his 43rd appearance for his country. He's only scored the one goal. Experienced Mallorcan fullback. Throwing for Digne to take down by his own corner flag. Headed straight back by Rios. And Kante gets it out from underneath his feet, finds Maxime Lacroix. He in turn finds the feet of Aklios. Back to Lacroix again. This is Digne. Well, you've got to count France as one of the big favourites for this summer's competition, and this is an acclimatising trip. Not sure head coaches and managers around Europe will be overly happy with the prospect of their players travelling across to the US like this. Here's Aklios into the penalty area, goes down. Referee says goal kick. I don't think it was a foul. Aklios of Monaco. Well, Monaco had a poor start to the season, as did Aklios. As soon as Aklios found form, so did Monaco. Tells you quite a lot about how pivotal he is to Le Rouge-et-Noir. That wasn't a penalty, even though he went down and even though there was contact. One in the midfield by Zaire Emery. Coming deep to pick it up was Ryan Shirky into the penalty area, Thuram around the goalkeeper. He's been sent very wide and he's offside anyway. So great ball from Ryan Shirky. I mean, the vision there to play the ball into the feet of Thuram. Absolutely wonderful piece of play from him. Slicing open the Colombian defence. But as he rounds the goalkeeper, he's done so from an offside position. 13 gone, Colombia 0, France 0. Colombia have had this allowance of letting France have pretty much all of the ball early on. It's a blustery afternoon, but a very warm one. Lots of yellow shirts inside this stadium supporting the Colombians. This is an official test event for the World Cup, and yet this stadium, believe it or not, won't be used. The Northwest Stadium is where we are today. If you're wondering, where's that? Well, it used to be the FedEx Field. Obviously, the branding FedEx have closed rank and moved on to other things. So it's now called the Northwest Stadium. We're in Landover. World Cup football won't be in Landover. Here come the Colombians, and that was very nearly an opening. It was a great ball in, and sliding to put it behind, and doing so with little to spare was Lacroix. It's a great ball in from the left-hand side from Luis Diaz. He slides it across, and it was Hernandez, in fact, that slid in and put it just past the post and behind for a corner. And it's just as well he did put it away, because Juan Arias was lurking. Corner comes in, it's well defended. This time it was Lacroix. To touch on this near side for a throw-in. Near side being over here, the right-hand side for Colombia. So Colombia kicking towards the goal to our right. Switched out to the left-hand side, but Luis Diaz can't control. That's going to be a throw-in for Pierre Kalulu and France. Pierre Kalulu gets the nod today. In the left-back position, mainly a central defender. Kalulu, he is 25 years of age. He plays his football in Italy for Juventus, and this is only his third cap for the French. He's one of the players today that has to put in a sterling performance if he is to stand any chance of going to the World Cup. This is Cherki again, pulling the strings inside to N'Golo Kante, gets past his man and then he's hauled back, but he still keeps his feet, finds Aklios, and then the ball put across the face of goal by Marcus Thuram, but there was no one in there. And he goes through beyond everyone from Kalulu. In fact, it was Thuram who was in the box, no one really in there though to get on the end of it. It's going to be a goal kick. Well, for all their endeavour with the ball, they haven't really created too much. France, that's as close as they've come. Seen anything to suggest that this Colombian side are on the verge of ripping up trees in the coming months in the World Cup. But, of course, means nothing. Friendly means nothing. Down the flank, and Marcus Thuram goes to get the cross in. So Lucadinha, that's won a corner. Cherki has come across to take it. Cherki, of course, possibly on now with Manchester City. It's played short. Cherki again, lovely footwork. Digne, Cherki once more. Sidesteps his man to the edge of the box, beats another, beats a third, gets it wide to Digne. They're claiming for an offside, no foul, no flag rather. As the ball is pulled back to the edge of the box and Lucas Hernandez is hauled down, and it was a shoulder barge from Richard Rios, which the referee was standing right next to it and immediately blew his whistle and gave the free kick, and now he's surrounded by yellow-shirted Colombians. But at the end of the day, it looked like a foul first time around, and yes, second time around, still looks like a foul on Lucas Hernandez. He's leant in with his shoulder and sent the Paris Saint-Germain player down to the ground. Very dangerous, this one. I mean, you look around this team, Aklios, Doué, Thuram, Cherki, everyone in the blue basically could hit this. I think it's going to be Cherki though. Strokes his beard. Gets prepared for a testing effort towards Alvaro Montero's goal. It's been a delight to watch when he's on song for Manchester City. We're hoping that he's going to be on song for France this summer. 4 in the wall for the Colombians. It's left of centre. It's about 5 yards outside the penalty area, with the edge of the D. Cherki has been moved away. It looks like it's going to be Lucadinha. Lucadinha with the left foot. This looks more of a right footer's free kick, but Lucadinha gets the nod. He hasn't scored this season for Villa. And he succeeds only in putting it straight into the wall. France immediately win it back. It's going to be a free kick, is it? The game has been stopped because there's a Colombian player on the floor. That player is Richard Rios, who's taken a knock to the face. Well, played 19 and a half minutes. It is still Colombia 0, France 0. No real massive chances. Colombia had a shot just wide and another across the face of goal that was slid wide by the defender Lucas Hernandez at the other end. We've seen that Lucadinha free kick, which was straight to the wall. That's about it really for France. They've not created much, but here's Aklios going through the middle. Still Aklios. That's a great ball out to the left-hand side. Now Lucadinha pulls it back. It's a little bit slower on the uptake there. As Desiree Doué. The ball has gone behind for a goal kick-off of Doué. Doué watched a couple of Paris Saint-Germain games recently. I don't think he's been in his best form. He plays today. He needs to get himself sorted out before the World Cup, because he could be a real superstar at the World Cup. Colombia themselves forward into the penalty area. It's a really good run as well by Diaz. He tees it up to the left full-back, and it was a shot towards the near post, and it was Johan Mojica down to make a fairly comfortable save. Bruce Samba. We got ourselves a first shot on goal. I suppose you could say Lucadinha's free kick was almost on target. Didn't make it any further than the wall though. It was the first real shot on target, and it was a comfortable save from Bruce Samba. Samba, one of a couple of Rennes players on the show tonight. Here come France into the penalty area. It's Aklios. She tries to chip the goalkeeper. Succeeds only in chipping it into the extended arms of David Ospina. Ospina, veteran goalkeeper. No, Mentaro's replaced Ospina. Ospina, the veteran goalkeeper, is on the bench today. He was rather disappointed when he wasn't told that he wouldn't be starting this game, because today would have been his 130th match, the 37-year-old. He's still expected to be number one come the summer, but today it's Alvaro Montero. Himself is 30, but only making his 11th appearance. I think that's the reason. I just want a little bit more experience in the legs of the backup goalkeeper. Now there's a falling out between Thuram and looks like Jefferson Lerma. It's all been diffused. Thuram wasn't very happy with the challenge that came in on him. He's a big lad, Thuram. So Davinson Sanchez that just held him off and pushed him in the face, and Davinson Sanchez's raised arm is what triggered an abrupt response from Thuram. Will quickly diffuse, ball over the top. It's a good take by Suarez, who is a danger man. Heads towards the left-hand side and gives it to the full-back Mojica. He dips one into the penalty area. It's too far ahead of the attacking full-back Daniel Nunes, and goes out for a goal kick to France, and it remains 0-0, and we have played now nearly 24 minutes of this game. Game still being played in glorious sunshine. Great crowd here today, by the way, considering this is a nothing friendly. By the way, you're not missing anything because the referee's just called for a cooling break, one in each half. This one comes just after the midway point of the half, giving both sets of players the chance just to gather, take some fluids on board and some instructions from their coaching staff. It's the Colombians that seem more intent on getting instructions across from their coaches. The French have pretty much been left to their own devices. He has now wandered out there, Didier Deschamps, for a quick chat with one or two as they take the fluids on board. Well, they've been the better side, France. That is without any doubt. I was disappointed with the Colombians on Thursday night against Croatia. I think they were very poor. That early shot from Zaire Emery, which deflected wide as well. That's probably France's best chance of the game, and that was in the first couple of minutes. Just passed us by. Seen that effort towards goal that was just past the post. Luis Diaz. Two sets of players being urged to return back to the field of play by the referee. Not a bad bench to have tonight, the French. I mean, you look at it, it's quite frightening, isn't it, really? Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Elise, Mbappe, Rabiot, Konate, Ekitike as well. Dembele, forgot the Ballon d'Or winner. Let's try not to forget him. That's not a bad bench, is it? Dembele, Mbappe, Elise alone, just frightening the amount of talent that this French side has at its disposal. Take a good team to overcome them in the World Cup. They'll be leaving a number of very good players at home when the World Cup comes round. Bruce Samba is going to take this goal kick, and immediately Lacroix can head up towards the halfway line. We're back and underway. 26.5 minutes gone. It is still Colombia 0, France 0. Long ball asking an awful lot of Luca Digne. Luca Digne would have caught that one if they'd opened the go to the car park in the corner of the stadium. And he continued running. He would have caught it. And forward by N'Golo Kante, and here's a shot from Cleoche, pulled it slightly with the right foot from slightly left of centre, just wide, and a goal kick. France will kick off their World Cup campaign on June the 16th against the Senegalese, the AFCON winners, and they've been stripped of that title, haven't they, of course. Their next opponents in match day 2 for both of these sides actually won't be determined until midweek, as they will both be playing playoff winning opponent in match day 2. Match day 3, Norway await France in what could be a really tough group. Senegal and Norway for France. They're going to need to be on their mettle. Uzbekistan, playoff winner, and Portugal are the 3 opponents for Colombia. I don't think Colombia are going to be very strong personally. I don't think they're going to be able to get near Portugal, but you can see the benefit in playing someone like France today to take a look and see how these games play out. Best way to approach it, best players to use. It's all part of the learning curve for the experienced head coach Nestor Lorenzo, who's been there, seen it, done it in his native Argentina. Here's Bruce Samba. And to the left-hand side again, Desiree Douy. First time ball back to fellow PSG player Luca Hernandez. Lacroix. Kalulu, back to Lacroix again. Rolls it to the halfway line. Good hold-up play by Thuram to find N'Golo Kante, who's still got his wits and whereabout through those legs. He's still a little nippy in towards the edge of the penalty area. It's a nice reverse pass into Thuram. Thuram tees it back up again, and then the shot is fired in, and it's 1-0 to France. And it's a sensational finish from Desiree Douy, who has done precious little so far in this game, but he's just fired France into a 29th minute lead. It was a great finish, and Douy played a big part in it because he played the initial pass into the feet of Thuram, and it came back to him. And I think it will go down as a Thuram assist. I don't think Cherki got a touch. We'll have another look here. So it was Aklios down the right-hand side making progress to the edge of the box. He then plays it inside to Cherki. And it's back to Cherki. Cherki misses it, the pass from Thuram. And it runs all the way beyond Cherki, who missed it. And bang, there was Desiree Douy. Well, he can do nothing in the game, and then suddenly he can just come up with something like that. Him and Bradley Barcola are that type of player, wingers that can torment you. But goals are part of their repertoire. Desiree Doué scores for France to make it 1-0. And believe it or not, in only his 6th appearance for his country, the PSG youngster, who is only 20, scores for the first time for France. That's his first international goal. It actually times in just into the 30th minute of the game. So Desiree Doué with the goal. France lead, and you can't say they don't deserve it overall. They've been the better side. Desiree Doué continues to allow his stock to rise. I think he's got to take Doué, hasn't he? I think he's got to take it, Didier Deschamps. In form or not, he's always going to get you a goal. Bradley Barcola, another player of immense excellence. It's just frightening, some of the talent that this French side have got with Cherki as well. But their defence might be something that comes under question. There's an offside flag here that stops James Rodriguez from making an adventurous run from the angle into the penalty area. So France have a free kick, which they try and take quickly. You've got Doué, you've got Akliush, you've got Cherki. Bradley Barcola is not in the squad at the moment. The attacking options with Dembele as well, and Mbappe and Elise. I don't think Kolo Muani is going to get in the squad, you know. Spurs striker, he might just struggle. Is there going to be room for someone like Rabiot? It's quite frightening, really. Hugo Ekitike is another player in the periphery. Jean-Philippe Mateta. Just don't think he's going to make it either, not with the names that we've put in front of you. So it's Colombia 0, France 1, and it's a goal from the half-hour mark from Desiree Doué. Here is Doué, chips it out wide, came off of a Colombian, so it actually hit Digne on the way through after that. So will be a throw into Colombia, which will be taken by Daniel Munoz of Crystal Palace. He's going to launch it, launches it into the gap. It's held up well by Luis Diaz. Diaz helps it on to Jean Arias. Arias gets the cross in. That's a good grab for Brice Samba. Got there just ahead of the on-rushing Luis Suarez, who's taken a rap to the head from the goalkeeper, and Brice Samba's gone down as well. It's a strong run from Jean Arias to get the cross in. Just too close to the goalkeeper, and he comes flying, and I think he got knocked in the back by Kalulu and ended up flying into the goalkeeper and injuring him. Goalkeeper's gone down. Kalulu with the push, which has also left Suarez nursing an injury. So nearly 34 played. Is Colombia 0, France 1. The Colombian head coach, Mr. Lorenzo, the Argentine, is perhaps thinking, what can I do to nullify the threat of France? And he didn't look alongside him to his right and took a glance at the French bench, because the French bench is it's frightening, isn't it? Camavinga, Dembele, Tchouameni, Mbappe, Elise, Kolo Muani, Rabiot, Konate, Magnin, Gusto, Hernandez, Ekitike, Chevalier. Some of those guys won't be going to the World Cup. Didier Deschamps has got some big decisions to make in the next few months. I don't know where he sleeps at night. I've seen worse French squads. It's the final 3 years ago. They'll want to go one better this time. They've got the artillery, haven't they? How much will the US Heat play in this World Cup? That remains to be seen, as N'Golo Kante wins the ball into the penalty area. He goes towards the penalty area anyway, lays it off to Shirky, who bends it out wide to Kalulu. Kalulu checking back again to Shirky, buzzes around here, there and everywhere. Lucas Hernandez to Luca Digne. Luca Hernandez again. It's being tried out in a central position today, Luca Hernandez. And if there's one area where they are light in numbers, then it's the central defensive positions, and Hernandez has given it away. And here come Colombia in search of an equaliser. Really, really good defending that from their captain. Well, he's 35 years of age today, and he's never lost that hunger for this game. N'Golo Kante, French captain this afternoon, demonstrating that he is still a top performer. Taking the ball away from James Rodriguez. It was Luca Hernandez that gave away the ball initially. Eight and a half minutes plus injury time remaining in the first half. Colombia 0, France 1. If you are just joining us, or you've disappeared and then come back again, well, it's Desiree Doué with a goal. It's a kind of weird one. Went into the penalty area from Shirky. Went to go for the return from Marcus Thuram. It bypassed Shirky, who completely mishit it, and it came to Doué, and he just went wallop low and hard through a crowd into the corner. 1-0 on the half-hour mark. Aklios plays it inside. It's a good play again by Zaire Emery into the penalty area. Thuram holds it up, spikes it back to Kalulu, gets the ball back inside. Shirky overhits his pass, and that will go straight out for a goal kick. And Shirky offers a hand of apology to the goal scorer, Desiree Doué. And for once, that should have been better from Ryan Shirky. So a goal kick to the Colombians, who trail here by 1-0. They lost to Croatia in the week. And they were pretty poor that day. They haven't been much better this. We've got many players out. They do have Santiago Arias carrying the knock at the moment, so he doesn't play today. On the clock. Colombia 0, France 1. Out of his penalty area is Brice Samba. Luca Hernandez to the feet of Zaire Emery. The glorious sunny skies of Washington DC. It's the French that have turned on the style. That's nice from Aklios, gets it wide, and N'Golo Kante in the thick of everything going on that far side. Shirky can't quite link up, and N'Golo Kante nibbling at the heels of the Colombians to try and win it back for the French. But here come Colombia. It's foul on Luis Diaz, who's brought down just beyond the halfway line. Turns immediately to the referee from Argentina, Fernando Rapellini, who gives a free kick and no more. Fouls by Thuram. Thuram got a yellow card for that, in fact. So that first yellow card of the game for Thuram. It remains 1-0 to France. It's not been too bad a game. I'm always a bit sceptical sometimes with these friendlies, can be dead in the water from a very early stage, and that's to be expected sometimes when you've got a game here between two teams that have many European-based players, and it's a busy part of the season for so many of those players. Look at Luca Hernandez at the moment. Might not be getting a regular game actually for his club side PSG, but they're still in the Champions League. They're still fighting for the title. Here comes Aklios down the right. Great ball in, and Thuram makes it 2. That's a cracking cross. Well, Aklios is a magician in situations like that and sends the cross in from the right-hand side, and Thuram will gobble them up all day long. The big striker was in the right place at the right time, and it has to be said that Colombia didn't deal with him particularly well, but it's still a very powerful header. It's a very accurate header, and there's absolutely nothing that Alvaro Montero could do to keep it out. It's 2-0 just moments after he had received a yellow card. He makes it 2-0. That was a great ball in from Aklios. Turns it onto his left foot, bends it in. Goalkeeper thought about coming. He out-jumps the defender because he gets there half a yard ahead. He's thinking before the ball's played. He's got a run on Daniel Munoz, who can't do nothing to stop him. Quality strikers will gobble them up. And that is another very well taken goal from France. And for Marcus Thuram, who has often been the butt of criticism for his lack of international goals, it's his 3rd goal in 33 matches for his country. Corner to Colombia down at the other end, taken quickly to the edge of the box. This is Munoz, scoops it into the box. It's a little back heel by Rodriguez, and snapping onto it was Richard Rios, and he's put it wide. That's going to be a goal kick, and he really should have done better. That he was stretching there, Munoz, and behind for a goal kick. It was Luis Diaz that flicked it in. Little back heel from James Rodriguez, wide by Munoz. 3 to go to half-time, plus the drinks break. I think that's really been the only... We had one little injury, didn't we, where the two collided. Goalkeeper and Luis Diaz and Bruce Samba. We might have 3 minutes or so to bolt on to the remaining 2.5 minutes of this half. Here goes Thuram again. He's taken it so easily off of Davison Sanchez, and this is Thuram, and he cuts inside. He goes alone and he fires it wide, and he does get a corner, and I suspect he might have a couple of French players bellowing in his right ear at the moment, saying, why don't you give the ball there? And particularly over on the far side, both Shirky and Aklios on the right were in oceans of space. Didn't use them. Here comes Shirky. Puffing and puffing. He's built up a sweat this afternoon in the hot heat. Used to this after a season playing in Manchester. Here comes his corner, and he's whipped it straight onto the roof of the net. It did take a deflection on its way in. I thought he'd gone straight over. He glanced off of that head of a defender. Not sure if it's a retake or not, but anyway, it has been taken short this time. Shirky again, trying to trick his way past Munoz, comes inside. Still Shirky. Delivered backwards by Desiree Doué. They need a ball back into the box. It's headed up in the air from Davinson Sanchez, who hasn't looked particularly comfortable at any point in this first half. Just about to move into the final minute of the 45. There will be added time. Here's N'Golo Kante. That's brilliant from N'Golo Kante. And Hernandez, and this is Doué. Rides a couple of challenges, gets it onto his right foot and scoops it over the top of the crossbar. It did take a touch off of the defender, possibly the goalkeeper too. Corner to France, who are purring at the moment. 2-0 they lead. And it will be 2 wins out of 2 against South American opposition. I just don't see... I don't think Argentina are going to be as strong as they were 3 years ago. I don't think Brazil are going to be anywhere near Portugal, Spain, England or France personally. We are looking at European-dominated World Cup. Odds 4 European semi-finalists. Well, the corner comes in from Doué. It's partially cleared, and running onto it was Warren Zaire Emery, and he blasts that one over the top of the crossbar. His 10th cap today. He does have 1 goal. He does chip in with a few goals, the young 20-year-old. 4 minutes of added time, by the way, we just moved into. They just want to reorganise themselves at the moment. I don't think in this first half I've mentioned Jefferson Lerner more than about twice. He's not been able to get near the ball. Another Crystal Palace player, by the way. There's 3 of them out there. LaCroix, Munoz, and Lerma. And stays the way it is, and it'll be LaCroix that will be bellowing the bragging rights when they return to Selhurst at the weekend. There's an offside flag which is up against Luis Diaz, who looks a forlorn figure. There's no doubt he's a real talent. James Rodriguez is past his best, but still a useful talent. Luis Suarez will score your goals. John Arias looks decent down the right-hand side, but just don't think they've got enough in midfield or defensively or creatively to bring in those aforementioned strikers. I think that's the problem. Taking the time to get going here, France. Just having a look from the opposite angle. Brilliant ball in from the second goal for Aklios. There's a unity in this French squad as well. You can tell that with the Thuram goal, because he's gone over immediately celebrating with Mbappe and with Dembele. He's got a spark in this squad as Didier Deschamps. There is a breaking play here at the moment. There's a wrestling match going on between Cherki, and he did seem to get slapped in the face there by Jean Arias, so I wonder if that was spotted at all by VAR. It's a friendly, it's probably something that will be just brushed under the carpet. Didier Deschamps has a quiet word in the fourth official's ear and says, that was a slap in the face, so you're not going to have a look at it? It's not something that escapes the attention of the French head coach, that's for sure. Goes Luca Digne, can't win it though. John Arias trying to turn, Luca Digne stops him from doing so. Digne was a little too close, and free kick has gone to the Colombians. Amazingly, we have played nearly 3 minutes to the 4. Stoppage time at the end of the 45. Half time is just creeping up on us around the corner. About a minute, maybe just a little bit more. There might be a little added time for that coming together, which for me it's a slap in the face on Cherki, which went unpunished. Long ball forward from Colombia. It's not particularly good one. It's headed back safe and sound by Lucas Hernandez to Bruce Samba, who bowls it underarm into the feet of Warren Zaire Emery. Wide to the left-hand side, and Luca Digne hands it back to Hernandez, but Cherki's been flattered again. He's getting roughed up a little bit here, it's Cherki. And they were saying that when Bruce Samba picked up the ball there, he picked it up, dropped it, and picked it up again. It was on the 18-yard long line, and there was a few players calling on the referee for a handball. Nothing was given. I don't think VAR have prompted the referee into any action. I think they probably watched it silently and felt there was no need for anything to be checked. The half-time whistle has gone here, and well, it's comfortable for France, isn't it? 2-0. They lead. Goals 11 minutes apart. The first from Desiree Doué, the second by Thuram, and they are in an unassailable lead, you would think, against once again disappointing Colombian side who don't look as if they're going to go far in the World Cup if they carry on playing like this, despite the fact they've got a few big names out there. It's France and their big guns, many of them sitting on the bench, that are just too good at the moment for the South Americans. Colombia 0, France 2 is the score at half-time at the Northwest Stadium in Landover, Marion, Washington, D.C. Sun's shining brightly, so go and get yourself a refreshment be sure to join me for the second half in around about 15 minutes or so. Looking forward to welcome back to our audio commentary coverage of Colombia against France. 2-0 Colombia trail at half-time to 0-2, and the goal from Marcus Thuram. And the French, the World Cup finalists from 3 years ago. What seems like unassailable lead against a disappointing Colombia so far. The French are out nice and early for this second half. The Colombians nowhere to be seen at this moment in time. The substitutes have started to roll out. They'll be keen for an improvement, I'm sure. The Colombians, here they come now at long last. Just waiting to see if there are any changes. There's no sign of anything immediate, but we're expecting an avalanche of changes over the next 45 minutes or so. Here's one. There's two. Okay, Rios is off and Puerta is on. Also off is Jean Arias. It's been replaced by Andres Gomez, who replaces football for Vasco da Gama in Brazil. 2 goals in 5 appearances for his country he's got so far. Another player coming on is Gustavo Puerta. I'll be hoping that he can add a little bit of zest and a little bit of bite to that midfield, which has been overrun really by the French in the first 45 minutes or so. So there you go. First 2 changes of the day coming at half-time, and they've both come from the Colombians. And at the moment, they look very disappointing so far, the coffee growers, or the Los Cafeteros as they are known. But so coming on, we think. We'll see more into that in a second. Here come France looking for a third from Aklios. It's Jerky plays it wide. Digne tries to drive towards goal, which is blocked by Munoz. Just flying out for a throw-in, which Digne will take. 2 minutes into the second half. France still in control of this match, leading by 2 clear goals to 0. Duray and Thuram with the goals. Digne's given away a free kick. It's a foul on Davinson Sanchez. Laid down the line neatly by Mexica. Sees this ball forward blocked by Pierre Kalulu, so another throw. It's chucked forward by Ian Mexica. Mexica gets the return, plays it inside. Jefferson Lerma. It's a bit of a stretch for Gustavo Puerta. Again to Juan Cabal. Cabal interchanging with Lerma. It's a little bit more composed. Cabal again. Wide to Luis Diaz. The Liverpool man now at Bayern Munich. And they need their star men to perform. But for that to happen, they need to get on the ball. Luis Suarez is the player that's been replaced by Cordoba. Jean Cordoba wears the number 9. His introduction is a like for like as well. France played much of this second half inside the Colombian half. That's a foul by Aklios. Aklios of Monaco. goal in his previous 6. He's got an assist here today that might just go some way to convincing Didier Deschamps that he's a player that needs to be in the squad for the summer. There's no doubt when he's on form, Magnus Aklios is a fine player. Desiree Doué likewise, he's down injured at the moment. He's just been crushed by Daniel Munoz, Crystal Palace man. Slid around the outside and he hooked the ball into touch, did Munoz, and he just clipped the ankle. For PSG start, the 20-year-old. He's back at his feet now and he seems to be in fine fettle, but that's a poor ball into the penalty area. Go the Colombians, and that was a very good tackle by Maxime Lecroix. But what on earth was going on there? I'm not quite sure why Warren Zaire-Emery opted to reverse the ball back inside. It's a chance for Cordoba. For Diaz, rather. Really good challenge by Maxime Lecroix to stop Luis Diaz. 4 minutes into the second half, still Colombia 0, France 2. If you are just joining us, Thuram scored the second, Doué the first, and France ending the first half very strong indeed. Aklios just over the halfway line, wide on the right hand side, sprays it inside, reversed back by Ryan Cherki. It's Desiree Doué trying to bring in France on the left hand side with Luca Digne. It's a poor pass for Lucas Hernandez, but he snapped up the second ball and plays it out towards the right hand side, but there's no one there, and that's going to be a throw-in to Colombia. A bit of a fragmented start to the half, if I'm totally honest. Colombia definitely looking to make the most of half-time pep talk, I would have thought. Just seen a yellow card for Desiree Doué. So there's 2 yellow cards on the pitch. Yep, how often have you heard this? It's 2-0, 2 goal scorers are the 2 players that have got the 2 yellow cards on the pitch. There you go. The odds of that happening. Desiree Doué just bringing down Andre Gomez. Huerta seems to have added a little bit of life in the middle of that midfield alongside Jefferson Lerma. It just wasn't working, Rios and Lerma. Didn't work in the defeat against the Croatians. There's a long ball forward, trying to wrestle his way through is Jean Cordoba. He's more of a muscly target man, Jean Cordoba. Number 9, he is the number 9. He has got 6 goals in 20. Plays in Russia for Krasnodar. He's getting on a bit now though, 32. This might be his last chance to play in the World Cup finals. N'Golo Kante won the challenge against Jefferson Lerma. Didier Deschamps with his arms folded and his suit on. No tie. All night, day to day. There's nothing on the heat and intensity that's expected in some of the matches to be played during the summer at the World Cup. As the ball is cleared forward by Davison Sanchez in towards Cordoba. Cordoba turning, edge of the penalty area on the left hand side, tries a back heel, it hits Kalulu. It goes out for a throw-in. This occasion to the Colombians. Two and a half minutes gone. Just not really going to get a goal from really Colombia, but they need to get the next goal in the game if they are to make a challenge, and they are on the attack at the moment. This is Luis Diaz, and he turns around one and manages to keep it away from Kalulu, who's menacing next to his toes. Now a shot from Jefferson Lerma. That's why he doesn't score too many goals, Jefferson Lerma, and he smashed that one high over the top of the crossbar. It's the 64th appearance for his country. He has scored 5 goals in that time. The Crystal Palace Bournemouth man. Well, he's Crystal Palace now, isn't he? Former Bournemouth man. So cleared the ball. They cleared it straight to touch. It was a throw into Colombia. So taken Giant Mexica, the Oca player. Very experienced side, this Colombian side. They've got a lot of players over the age of 30. Suffice to say, they've got a 22-year-old, 22-year-old, 23-year-old, and 4 players that are 25. Then you're looking at everyone else in the squad that's 27 or upwards, apart from Carbonera, the winger, who's just made it into the squad. He's 26. So it's an ageing squad that will need recycling sooner rather than later. Luis Diaz, 29. There's not past their peak. Got time on their side, certainly. Jefferson Lerma hooks it forward. The target was John Cordoba. It went straight through to Bruce Samba in the French goal, and he's not had much to do so far. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Colombia 0, France 2 is how it remains. Thuram blocking Horn to Sanchez. They've done that all afternoon. Mexica into the channel. Cut out by Kululu. Aklios. To Kante, back again to Aklios. Magnus Aklios, creator of the second goal. 24-year-old Monaco man. He wins it back again here, Aklios. It's a lovely ball to Shirky into the gap. It's Thuram who pulls it back. This could be a wonderful goal, and it's a save. No, it's gone in. It's a third goal, and it's Désiré Doué. That is a wonderful French goal. The way in which Aklios started it all off, and the interchange with Shirky, finding Thuram, who got the cross in, and then the shot at the far post to Désiré Doué. I thought the goalkeeper had kept it out. He did get something on it. It wasn't enough, and Désiré Doué scores his second international goal of the day, and that's his first 2 international goals. He's got a brace here at the far post, tucks it away, just out of the reach of the goalkeeper. I thought he got a touch. I was certainly got a touch. We're looking at the replay. Did he? Let's have a look from this angle. Oh yeah, he did get a touch, and it bobbled up and into the net. I thought he did. You look at it from one angle, it doesn't look as if he got a touch, but he did. Couldn't keep it out. And Désiré Doué scores again and makes it 3-0. You would think that's game over now. We had the beating of Brazil 2-1 just a few days ago, but the build-up there from France was eloquent, and Aklios was again the driving force, but the magic of Shirky clear for all to see. Once it gets into Thuram's not the quickest, but he's big enough and strong enough to play it across to Désiré Doué, who's always good for a goal. Kick here to France for a foul by Jefferson Lerma on Marcus Thuram, who played the assist for Doué's goal. Played the assist for the second goal as well. Didier Deschamps talking to his assistant Guy Stefan and his coach Franck Rabiot down the touchline. No such conversations going on for Nestor Lorenzo and his Colombian backroom staff. They've been well and truly taken apart here today. France have somehow kept it in play on the far side, but then they've given it away. Gomez down the right hand side, back by Luca Digne, cleared away by Hernandez. And, France in control. Jefferson Sanchez to goalkeeper Montero. Cabal. Touch inside from Luis Diaz. Cloche can't keep it for France. It's a little bit scrappy at the moment. Mahika. Cloche wins it back, just tucks it backwards. Kalulu. Kante turns into trouble. Jefferson Lerma snaps into the challenge. Came off with N'Golo Kante. We're throwing to Colombia, taken quickly up in towards the feet of the big man Cordoba. Juan Cordoba goes down inside the penalty area. The referee comes running across, does award a free kick as opposed to a penalty. It's outside the penalty area. Kick to Colombia, almost on the corner edge of the penalty area, so it's not anywhere of immediate danger, you would have thought, to France. It is a blustery day. Who knows what movement there would be in this ball if struck cleanly by James Rodriguez. But it looks more as if it's going to be a left-footed cross from the left-hand side. Waiting for the whistle from the referee. There is two in the wall. I think they're going to be stretched here though. In towards the back post. It's been turned back across by Lerma and turned away by Shirky. It's back out to Mahika. Mahika gets it wide. Diaz just about keeps it on by the corner flag, twisting and turning and trying to sell a dummy to Kalulu. He's got Aklios there for company, and between Kalulu and Aklios, they wipe the floor with Diaz. I think Aklios has been excellent tonight. Two of the three goals have come from his involvement, one an assist and one he played no small part. There's a yellow card here as Shirky is flattened. Another raised arm into his face from Puerta. Puerta is the first yellow card for the Colombians in this game. Back on his feet, and Shirky just checking there's no blood coming out of his nose. It's pretty rough treatment from Gustavo Puerta. 22-year-old Racing Santander midfielder is yellow carded for that. There's going to be changes. There are going to be more changes here for the Colombians. Montero is coming on. Campos is coming on. So an attacking midfielder and a left winger. Just waiting for the board to go up to tell us who's going off. Well, they're going to wait for this free kick. Looks like there's going to be three changes. 20, 21, 22 are the three shirts lined up. So David Makeda of Nantes is going to come on for his 14th cap. The left back. I imagine that's probably going to be for Johan Mahika. Luca Hernandez in the central position in defence. Long ball forward, finding Luca Digne, has gone forward, wins a throw in, level with the edge of the penalty area for the French. Came off of Munoz. Digne preparing to take this, and I think we're going to see those three changes, and three changes for France as well. Well, bear with us because I'm just waiting for the board to go up here. Camavinga is one of the players to come on for France. Montero waiting to come on. Camavinga is coming on. Ekitike is coming on as well, and Randall Molo, Kolo Moane. Ekitike comes on. So Rios, Arias and Suarez came off at half-time, and another 3 changes for the Uruguayans match with 3 changes. Zaire Emery has gone off to be replaced by the far more experienced Eduardo Camavinga. There's the number 6 jersey. Trying to work it all out. Kolo Moane has indeed come on as well. Here he is on the ball at the moment. Kolo Moane. Seeing Ekitike has come on for Doué. So Hugo Ekitike will go down the left. 22, he replaces Doué. Kolo Moane is on for Aklios. I think he's got a big part to play here, Randall Kolo Moane. I don't think he's going to make this French squad, you know. Let's see, put something in here. Luis Diaz is off and Campaz is on. Campaz goes to the left side, the Rosario Central player. Never scored for his country, this is his 8th appearance. Nico is replaced by Ricardo. We mentioned that one as well, David Ricardo. It's football for Nantes in France. So we'll know about quite a few of these players that he's playing against today. The other one was Rodriguez and Quintera. So Quintera coming on. One. Fernando Quintera. There's the number 20, placing James Rodriguez, who's been very disappointing. As I say, I watched the game against Croatia the other night. Disappointing. Have not been great here, Colombia, in his 2 games against European opponents. I think they're in a group with Portugal. Start their campaign on June the 18th against Uzbekistan. Tell you what, that could be a shock, because this is not a great Colombian side. Already bets on Uzbekistan there. Not been impressed with them at all here. I mean, France have only had to break it out 2nd gear and they're 3-0 up. It could have been more. Doué, 2 goals. Aklios with 2 goal involvements. I think they've both done enough tonight to seriously pressurise the French manager Didier Deschamps into putting him on the plane. Ekitike is cutting from the left-hand side, trying to his involvement off the mark early on. Attempted clearance there was a rather loose one from Kalulu. It's allowing Campaz down the left-hand side to whip one in. Well, it was a dangerous ball, and it was one that Jean Canova was sniffing around for. Brice Samba came out and claimed it well. Brice Samba's put the ball down on the floor. Things move in again for the French, who are in control here. Kalula down the right, crossfield ball by Cherki, pretty good as well. Ekitike over on the far side, but it was controlled by Marcus Thuram. Wasn't able to make anything of it though. Just past the midway point in the second half. Colombia 0, France 3. 2 goals from the now departed Desiree Doué, 1 for Marcus Thuram. Got to say, Cleoche, Doué, the stars of the show, and Ryan Cherki, pretty easy on there. I haven't known those 3. Question mark is now, do we see anything of Dembele? Do we see anything of Elise? Do we see anything of Mbappe? Do we need to? It's into the penalty area, might be half a chance on the turn. Jean Kuroba doesn't get enough power in the shot. It's a fairly comfortable save in the end from Brice Sambou. Dispatches down the left-hand side. Digne with a long ball in towards Ekitike. It's good defending for once from Davinson Sanchez. To mop up ahead of the Liverpool man and gives it out wide to Daniel Munoz of Crystal Palace. Munoz again taking the ball back from Gustavo Puerta. Digne, Puerta coming together. Came off of Puerta last, and it will be a throw into France. Solid challenge that from Digne. Leads the way to the near touchline, does Luca Digne, as we pause for a refreshment break. Just over 20 minutes of the game remaining. Gentle reminder for me, I got a coffee at half time and forgot I had it here sitting next to me. So there you go. That's what drinks breaks are for. Even a commentator can replenish. Well, we've watched enough tonight to suggest that this France side has incredible ammunition. And Desiree Doué, he is 20, he wears 20. Cleoche has been very good as well. It's a great header by Thuram for the second goal from a brilliant cross from Cleoche. Cleoche was the creator. Won the ball in his own half, carried it forward. Lovely little ball into Cherki, wide into the box. Thuram first time ball across. Desiree Doué made it 3-0. Great team goal. So Colombia 0, France 3. Thumbs up down on the touchline from Didier Deschamps. DD. Thanks to 2 goals from his other DD, Desiree Doué. Bradley Barcola, BB. He's not here tonight. He's got a slight knock. He should be back next weekend for Paris Saint-Germain. He has been sent home. To rub salt into Colombia's wounds. This is Dembele, Mbappe and Elise are all warming up. Just when they wanted France to ease off for the final 20 minutes or so. That's not going to happen, is it? France could win this 4 or 5, realistically. I've been so disappointing over 2 games by Colombia. One that Uzbekistan was beaten in that opening group match. Don't put that against anyone. Here come the Colombians trying to zip things forward down the right hand side. It was Puerta that won a throw in. France quickly have it back. Ekitike plays it down the line. It's a tumble on the far side for France. A foul on there. Captain N'Golo Kante was comprehensively brought to ground by Quintero. Or was it Gomez? It was Gomez, in fact. 40% possession in this game, Colombia. It doesn't feel like it. Feels like France have had a whole lot more than the 60% that they've been attributed, according to the statisticians. And I think as they've 3-0 up, it feels like a very easy 3-0 win away from home. It could be more. It could be more. At this moment in time, though, the ball's out of play on this near side for a Colombian throw. It's been edged forward by Mercado, the substitute, one of the 6 substitutes made so far for Colombia. Only made 2 changes from the side which lost so disappointingly to Croatia. I thought we were going to see wholesale changes. We saw it from the French tonight, but not from the Colombians. Camavinga's just got a yellow card. Yes, he has. Gets a few of them in his career, doesn't he, Camavinga? He's that type of player. He's been straight in at the referee, and just minutes after coming on, he gets a yellow card, and Colombia have won a corner. He's been turned behind by Camavinga. Corner delivered in towards the near post by Quintero, but cleared away by France, and now it's a chance for them to monitor forward. Running into traffic though was Ryan Cherki as he entered the half. The Colombians are defending. He was comprehensively brought to a grinding halt by Jefferson Lerma. They'll meet again in a couple of weeks in the Premier League. Manchester City against Crystal Palace. 75 minutes gone. Colombia 0, France 3. 2 for Doué, 1 for Marcus Thuram. It's got to be a free kick, surely, for the foul on Thuram, but the referee plays a good advantage. In fact, here's Cherki down the line to Ekitike. Ekitike's got 2 Colombian defenders on him and tried to be clever. He wasn't clever at all in the end. That throw-in is off of Ekitike, and it will be Colombia's rather than France's throw. Right down by the corner flag, mind you. Camavinga shown a yellow card less than 10 minutes after coming on, we're just being told. Whistle has gone. And what looked like it could be a promising run forward by Campas, Jami Campas, as pulled back by the referee for a free kick. As I said before, this stadium is not being used for the World Cup this year in Landover. The nearest we'll get to the World Cup is Philadelphia, or go up to New York, New Jersey. Mbappe will be on in a minute, by the way. But this is still a test run. They are still things that are being tested today. Things like security at turnstiles, fixing checks, pyrotechnic control towards the penalty area. We're going to see Mbappe any second now. Here are Colombia looking for a goal back, and they've got it in off the post. That's a really good finish from Campas. Drills it across the face of the goalkeeper, in off the post. They've got one back through Jami Campas. Jaminton Campas scores his first ever international goal, and the 25-year-old rattled it in to make it 3-1. Well, it's probably too little too late, but it gives the scoreline a little bit more respectability. Ball's played into the penalty area by Munoz. It's held up by the front man, Cordoba. Can't turn. He hits his shot against the defender, and it comes out. And a very good finish with the left foot across the face of the goalkeeper and in off the post. Finally, something to cheer about for the large hordes of Colombian fans here tonight. Cordoba delivering a goal. Cherki makes way for Mbappe. Thuram has come off as well. So, Kylian Mbappe is on. He's on for Turan. Quite see who came on. That's Michael Elise. He's on for the French. Not bad substitutes now, is it? Michael Elise. As I say, Turan, Cherki off, Elise and Mbappe on. So that's now 5 substitutions for the French, and 6 for the Colombians. A little over 11 minutes to go. Here come the Colombians again. They've found their stride. They've got a goal kick. I was going to say they won a corner, but they haven't. French fly back to Paris tomorrow morning. Players will begin to filter off to their respective clubs. There will still be friendlies being played on Wednesday, so not all players will be returning to their clubs for the weekend as soon as some of these players on the pitch here today. It's likewise for the Colombian players that are heading back to Europe, and many of them do play in Europe. Not all of them, but many of them will be heading back probably tomorrow. So the touch over on the far side from Michael Elise. Trying to run forward, but he's been stopped by Gustavo Puerta, who does have some cotton wool stuffed up his nose from a facial injury that he picked up with a nosebleed, so he's to pinch himself up. It's a free kick to the French, which their goalkeeper for today, Brice Samba, is going to take. He's not really had too much to do apart from picking the ball out of the net, to be honest. He's handled everything amicably. It's Ekitike, then cushioned out wide over on the far side. N'Golo Kante can't quite find Ekitike. Mbappe, final touch, came off from the Colombian, and that will be a throw into France. We're into the last 10 minutes now. Colombia have it back. Juan Cabal looks like he's going to complete the 90 minutes in that defence, having not even got on as a sub in the previous game against Croatia. Juan Cabal. We've got a good look at his squad here, Will. Didier Deschamps. What would he have learned? Well, you've got to be taking Cherki, you've got to be taking Antioch, and you've got to be taking Doué. But then you've also got to be taking the likes of Elise and Mbappe and Turan, and Turan with good goal tonight. The attacking options are staggering. Nobody bought on Ousmane Dembele today, by the way. I don't know if whether he actually wants to come on. He's more than his fair share of injuries since being named as the Ballon d'Or winner some 6 months ago. Into the penalty area, and Colombia looking for a second goal at the moment. They're claiming for a handball, and it did look as if it hit Ekitike on the arm. It's come out to Puerta. Puerta twisting and turning and looking to feed the ball back into the penalty area. Succeeds in finding Davinson Sanchez. The attempt of a cross is blocked away for a corner by Lucadinha. So a Colombian corner. 8 minutes to go. It's whipped in as well and brushed the goalkeeper's hand as it was on its way over. Maybe another corner. It's whipped in ferociously by Juan Fernando Quintero. Couldn't quite make out where it was going, so he had to touch it over to be on the safe side. It's Quintero again. This time he's played the corner short and the referee wasn't ready. He's been sorting out a few problems in the box involving Mbappe. Bargy, plenty of pushing and shoving, jostling for supremacy. This corner is going to be taken. Quintero. Still waiting for the referee to allow the assistant referee to start play. Eventually in comes corner. It's been fed back out wide again to Quintero. Quintero tries to go on the outside, but showed far too much of that to Mbappe. Mbappe looks up and plays it to Ekitike. Then wide to Elise. Michael Elise slowing things up. Golo and Kante. Wide by Kalulu. Goes to the return. It's Kalulu again. By Mbappe. He's got the captain's armband since coming on. Carry forward now for Cordoba. Cordoba was running into a cul-de-sac full of blue shirts. They still have it here, though, Colombia. Wide from Jefferson Lerma. This is Gomez to Sanchez. Jefferson Lerma again, cut out this time by Kululu. Mbappe, and now Elise. Look at that for a ball to Ekitike, who's through a goal. Ekitike round the goalkeeper recovers, but it's now a chance for a shot at goal, and the shot at goal was cleared off the line, and it was Kylian Mbappe who hit it. To the goalkeeper for France by Kalulu. Kalulu's done all right at right back, you know. This was a make or break game for him. He needed 90 minutes under his belt to show Didier Deschamps what he can do as a right back. I think he's been pretty solid. He's got forward on the odd occasion. He's been comfortable with the ball at his feet. He's got the ball at his feet at the moment. Camavinga. And Kante. On this, his 35th birthday today. He's going to skipper his country to victory, although he's lost that captain's armband now to Kylian Mbappe. Long ball forward. It's going to go out for a throw-in. Less than 5 minutes to go. A little bit added on for the substitutions. I don't think we've had too many injuries. No VAR checks, just a couple of goals and a water break as well. So probably 5 minutes to chain on to the end of the 90. Yeah, but I think we're here for another 10, you know. Campes putting the goal back to make it 3-1 after 2-0 Douai goals sandwiched in between those. One a header from Marcus Thuram after a brilliant ball in from the outstanding Magnus Akliashi. He's been a star performer. To go. Can they get another one back here? Colombia might give them a lift that they need because it's been a disappointing international break for them. It's another good challenge coming in from Kululu. And the cross from the left from Quintero, cut out and source. Ekitike can't quite turn. It's going to be a free kick to France in their own half. Foul. So Jefferson Sanchez. Was it Makeda? David Makeda, in fact it was. Nantes player. Going back to Nantes, who are really in big trouble down at the bottom in French Ligue 1. Top three of Metz. Nantes. Looks like they're both going to go this season. They're the bottom two at the moment. So they will stay there. It's been a major miracle in the last few weeks of the season. Out it will be going down, which does mean that Colombian David Makeda can't be playing his football in the second tier of France next season. I think about that at the moment. You want to think about playing in the World Cup first. just stretched and he's brought down Kalulu. He's back to his feet. So throw in back to Colombia on this near side. 2 minutes to go. It's cleared away just in time by Juan Cabal. Rolled down the line by Makeda. Makeda again has a look up. Off of Kalulu. Chopped away by Hernandez. Kalulu again. Camavinga's pass. Camavinga once more. Lovely touch from Camavinga to Kalulu. Kalulu finding the feet of Ekitike. He's done really well tonight. You know, everything he's done today. Kalulu in that right back position has been neat and tidy and precise. Couldn't have asked for any more really from him. In the left back position, Lucadinha. Elise. Got Kante. Elise again. It's the feet of Ekitike. Never really had full control of it. It's been taken off of him by Puerta. There's been an upgrade to Rios in the midfield in the second half for sure. Rios was poor in the first half. He was poor against Croatia and he got 90 minutes. Into the last 40 seconds of the 90. Happy to sit behind the ball as Colombia ping it about. It's a long intended ball forward by Cabal. It comes straight back to him off of Camavinga. On this near side. With Quintero. Quintero tries to play it forward. It came off of a French defender, Kalulu, and behind for a corner. And 4 minutes added time, of which we're now into that. Corner comes in. Go away. It was a good one from Lucadinha. And Colombia find another goal. Plenty of blue shirts between ball and goal, and it's been won by Ekitike. Gets it wide to Michael Elise. And Elise can have a run at this Colombian defence as a look up and lifts it out towards the far side of the pitch, and Mbappe pulls it back and it's into the side netting. Mbappe involved from the cut back from Randall Colomoani, puts the thumbs up, but the shot was wide of the post from the Real Madrid man. He's been scoring plenty of goals Los Blancos this season in Spain. Played 1.25 minutes of 4 added on in the sunshine. Well, you can be forgiven for taking your foot off the gas in this game. It's been smuggled behind by an uncertain Maxime Lacroix, another player that's been solid at the back for France over 90 minutes tonight. 90 minutes are up. We are almost halfway through 4 minutes of added time. The goal scorer of the Colombian goal is Jaime Campas. Takes the corner. It's a poor one, but he's won back the second ball into the penalty area. The pull back could be a second goal here. That's a really good block from Ekitike of all people. It comes back to Campas again, drills it across, punched away by Brice Samba, and then one by Camavinga, and Ekitike goes bulldozing through the middle. It's Ekitike. It's a great run. They look really dangerous here, the French. Ekitike puts it wide. Well, he had options to his right, he had options to his left. You can't really blame him for having a go, Ekitike. 2 goals in his previous 7. This game has suddenly opened right up. This is Cordoba into the penalty area. He's going to get the shot away. He's going to curl it, but Brice Samba gets down and makes a fairly routine save in the end. When he tried to curl it, he did curl it. He got it round the defender and it was on target. Couldn't have asked any more from Cordoba. Maybe a little bit more pace might have helped get it past the goalkeeper, Brice Samba. The goalkeeper got down and made the save. It's a good recovery on the far side from Davinson Sanchez. Good flick by Mbappe. This is Elise. To Kolo Muani. His first touch was dreadful and he's had it taken off of it. Here come Colombia. Maybe one last chance to make the score look a lot closer than perhaps this game actually has been. But it's been won back again by Kalulu. There's been plenty of pluses for France tonight, and he's certainly one of them. Here's Elise riding the challenge and squaring forward, and he puts the ball through the middle, and it's around the goalkeeper. It's going to be 4, and it's the simplest of tap-ins. And it's Kylian Mbappe who makes it 4-1, and another devastating body blow for Colombia from the fluent French. In the dying seconds of stoppage time, Kylian Mbappe dances through, rounds the goalkeeper and scores. The goal won't count because he was in an offside position. So it is still only 3-1, but it was a cracking finish, and Elise was brilliant there. They're so clinical when they break. They've got pace, they've got talent. It takes them stopping France in this World Cup, you know. Goal kick, France think, but referee says no, corner. We've played well over the 4 minutes of stoppage time. It is a corner to Colombia. This is most likely going to be the last play of the day. Kylian Mbappe's goal ruled out for offside. It's determined not to let Colombia move to within a goal of them. Here comes the corner, and the referee promptly blows the final whistle, and in the end a comfortable win for the French. 2 goals for Desiré Doué and 1 goal for Marcus Thuram as well, sandwiched in between that. They did get one back, the Colombians, through Jamie Campas, but across 2 games against Croatia and France, 2 defeats, and nothing to suggest they're going to be strong and confident going into the World Cup this summer. On the other hand, France must be one of the favourites, and to see the likes of Aklios, Doué and Kalulu and Lacroix all produce good performances, Shirky too as well, and good to see N'Golo Kante still looking good on his 35th birthday. Comfortable for France. 3-1 winners here tonight, here in the Northwest Stadium in Landover, Maryland, Washington DC. So that's your final score then. Colombia 1, France 3. Thank you very much for your company this evening, and a very good night.